Okay, item 10. Let's come back with the program. Repeal of Chapter 66, Article 2, Drug Paraphernalia. Ian Freeman, would you please like to address your letter?
I will. Yeah, I'll certainly keep this brief. I understand that it's a pretty late night. A couple weeks ago, this commission heard the proposal that is coming up shortly from David regarding sending a communication to the legislature to encourage them to decriminalize or legalize cannabis, and there seems to be some appreciation for that. So I'm glad to see that, and hopefully that will continue moving forward. But as this issue has come up in the past, as was brought up last time, it usually is stated that, well, the city council can't do anything about this except write a letter. And that I understand. So I did find something that you guys could do. You could repeal the prohibition on paraphernalia in Keene. And this is something that will have an immediate effect on helping the poorest of the people of Keene, because typically people driving a Lexus that might have a pipe on them probably aren't going to be treated in the same way as the average low-income person who might be walking in downtown Keene. Essentially, the ordinance hurts poor people the most, and it does nothing to stop drug use. If anything, it just simply encourages more theft. I'm sure you guys have heard about the recent robberies from, I guess robbery, not the right word, breaking into cars or opening car doors and taking things. Usually those are drug addicts that are taking things so they can pawn them and then buy some more drugs, or in this case, buy another pipe, because if they've been caught by Keene police and they've confiscated their pipe, then that's not going to stop them from using the drug of their choice. When they get out of jail or are released from custody, they'll either go and purchase a new one, or they'll create some sort of implement, some rudimentary pipe to use the product of their choice. So ultimately the regulation does nothing besides impoverish people even more, and it is something that you guys could do if you wanted to send a message that Keene was serious about ending the insanity of the war on drugs, which is basically a war against our friends, a war against our family members, and a war against our neighbors. So I hope you'll keep that, I hope you'll take this proposal seriously, because really all this ordinance does is just yet another charge that the police can level against somebody that they've arrested for drug possession. And it's already ruining somebody's life to simply arrest them for drug possession, because usually, if you get arrested and you had work to go to, because most drug users are employed, and many of them are responsible, then you might lose your job because you've spent the night in jail or something like that. You may miss a rent payment because you've spent time in jail. And so it's already devastating enough to have this war on drugs. Adding yet another charge to a block of charges is not helping anyone. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the committee?
Well, I guess I should have looked at the ordinance, but basically this Chapter 66, Article 2 has a, maybe I...
Well,
Yeah,
let's do a question here first.
Well, yeah,
If not, then let's move to staff in a moment.
yeah, I'm not sure exactly what he's addressing, so that's...
The proposal is to repeal the...
Yeah, but I don't know what the ordinance says.
So we'll go to
yeah.
legal. Mr. City Attorney, please.
The ordinance, it's Article 2, Sections 66 through 26 through 31, and basically it's the codification within the city code of a prohibition on the possession of drug paraphernalia, which is defined by the ordinance. It's a fairly lengthy list. It encompasses the things that you would consider pipes and bongs and that sort of thing, kits, hypodermic needles, and so on and so on. So that's what the ordinance basically covers, and it makes it a violation to be in possession of those in certain circumstances.
Okay, is there anything else staff would like to add? Chief?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Kenneth Freeman, Police Chief. I'd just like to add and clarify some things that Jeff mentioned about the ordinance. It's not just about devices used to ingest, inject, or to get drugs into your system. The ordinance also encompasses those items that are used to manufacture, propagate, or aid and the sale and distribution of illegal drugs as well. So they're included as well. And we urge you to reject this proposal to maintain this ordinance. It's valuable for us to utilize as we enforce the drug laws and as we try to get people into treatment and try to get them on the road to prevention and recovery.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Please.
If I understand what you're saying, then this paraphernalia, if we're concerned about its relationship to the marijuana question, you're talking about paraphernalia, the ordinance speaks about paraphernalia that has to do with many other things besides marijuana, and so.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, if I may, as the Chief mentioned, the ordinance does track, to some extent, a state statute that also outlaws paraphernalia. The city ordinance, though, goes a little bit further with respect to making a determination for a court about when particular items may be classified as paraphernalia or not. So that's a section that's not contained within the statute. And it also, at least in this, and I don't recall seeing this in the statute, there's a specific prohibition on the delivery of these kinds of items to persons 17 years of age or younger. I don't recall that specifically being in the statute. So the ordinance does go a little bit beyond what the statute, the state statute does.
And this city manager
It's
does.
also a question to the city attorney then. So even if the city council were to repeal this particular ordinance, the state statute would still be available to the police department.
Yes.
Be at the discretion of the police chief.
That's correct.
And his personnel.
That's correct.
Okay, open up to the public, is all set for now? Okay.